the closet that revealed Michael Jackson's hidden world. When people think about Michael Jackson, the first images that usually come to mind are the sparkling glove, the military-style jackets, the black fedora, or the iconic loafers that glided effortlessly across the stage. Those unforgettable outfits became part of his identity, recognized by millions of fans in every corner of the world. But very few people have ever seen where those legendary pieces were kept. Hidden behind the public performances was a wardrobe unlike anything the entertainment industry had ever witnessed, a collection valued in the tens of millions of dollars, containing thousands of garments, accessories, custom-made shoes, hats, and stage costumes created over the course of an extraordinary career. This was not simply a celebrity's closet. It was a carefully preserved archive documenting the evolution of one of the greatest performers in history, with every item representing a different chapter of Michael Jackson's artistic journey. Walking through that collection is like traveling through the history of modern music. Every jacket carries memories of a famous performance. Every pair of shoes recalls a legendary concert, and every custom-designed costume reflects countless hours of creative collaboration. Michael rarely viewed clothing as something to wear casually. To him, every piece served a purpose. He believed audiences should recognize a character before a single note of music was heard. Whether performing in massive stadiums or appearing in a short film, his wardrobe helped create an immediate emotional connection with millions of people watching around the world. Behind each outfit stood teams of designers, tailors, and craftsmen who worked tirelessly to transform Michael's imaginative ideas into reality. Their work blended fashion, theater, and storytelling into a visual language that became inseparable from his music. Yet the true value of Michael Jackson's closet cannot be measured by expensive fabrics, rare materials, or auction prices alone. Its greatest significance lies in what it reveals about the man behind the performances. Every carefully preserved costume reflects an artist who believed that excellence existed in the smallest details. Nothing was chosen by accident. Every color, every buckle, every embroidered design, and every shimmering crystal contributed to the story he wanted audiences to experience. Looking inside this remarkable collection offers far more than a glimpse into luxury. It provides a window into the creative mind of someone who transformed fashion into an essential part of live entertainment. And as we explore the extraordinary world hidden behind those wardrobe doors, one question quickly emerges. How did Michael Jackson create outfits so unforgettable that, decades later, they remain instantly recognizable across the globe? The answer begins with a philosophy that guided every costume he ever wore. Why every outfit? It was designed to tell a story. For Michael Jackson, clothing was never just fashion, it was storytelling. Long before audiences heard the opening note of a concert or music video, they were already learning something about the performance through what he wore. Michael believed that every costume should create anticipation, reveal personality, and help transport viewers into a completely different world. Whether he appeared in a sharply tailored military-style jacket, an elegant white suit, or an elaborately decorated stage costume, each outfit was carefully selected to match the emotion and energy of the music. He understood that visual storytelling could be just as powerful as lyrics, and he treated every piece of clothing as another instrument in the performance. The result was a collection of instantly recognizable looks that became inseparable from the songs and moments they represented. That philosophy influenced every stage of the creative process. Before a costume was ever sewn together, Michael spent time discussing ideas with designers, sketching concepts, reviewing fabrics, and imagining how each piece would appear under powerful stage lighting. Practical details mattered just as much as appearance. Jackets had to allow complete freedom of movement during demanding choreography. Shoes needed to support complex dance routines, and fabrics had to sparkle without distracting from the performance itself. Every buckle, embroidered pattern, shoulder detail, and decorative crystal served a purpose within the overall design. Nothing was added simply for decoration. Instead, every element helped reinforce the story Michael wanted audiences to experience. By combining theatrical imagination with extraordinary attention to detail, he transformed costumes into an essential part of the performance, rather than an accessory worn alongside it. Looking back today, it becomes easy to understand why so many of Michael Jackson's outfits remain iconic decades after they first appeared. Fans can often identify a specific era of his career simply by seeing the silhouette of a jacket, the shape of a hat, or the sparkle of a glove. Those visual memories have become part of popular culture because they were created with remarkable intention. Michael didn't chase fashion trends. He created timeless images that continue inspiring performers, designers, and audiences around the world. His wardrobe became a visual language that communicated confidence, mystery, elegance, and imagination before he even stepped onto the stage. Yet behind every unforgettable costume stood talented designers capable of turning even his most ambitious ideas into reality. Their collaboration would produce some of the most celebrated stage outfits ever created, proving that Michael's greatest fashion achievements were never the work of one person alone. Behind every unforgettable Michael Jackson costume stood a remarkable partnership between imagination and craftsmanship. While millions of fans admired the finished jackets, sparkling shirts, military-inspired uniforms, and legendary stage outfits, few realized how much collaboration took place before those designs ever reached the spotlight. Michael rarely walked into a fitting and simply selected clothing from a rack. Instead, he arrived with ideas, inspirations, sketches, photographs, and creative concepts that reflected the vision he wanted audiences to experience. He viewed designers not merely as people who made clothes, but as artistic partners capable of transforming imagination into reality. Together, they explored fabrics, colors, textures, embroidery, and silhouettes until every piece reflected the exact atmosphere he hoped to create. It was a process driven by creativity, patience, and an uncompromising pursuit of perfection. Those collaborations often stretched over weeks or even months. Designers created multiple prototypes, adjusted measurements repeatedly, and tested different materials under powerful stage lighting to see how they reflected movement and color. Michael paid close attention to details that most performers would never notice. He considered how a jacket would move during a spin, how decorative elements would sparkle beneath concert lights, and whether every button, zipper, or embroidered design contributed to the overall performance. Comfort was equally important because his demanding choreography required complete freedom of movement. Every costume, therefore, balanced elegance with practicality, allowing him to perform energetic routines without sacrificing the dramatic visual impact that audiences expected. This constant refinement transformed ordinary garments into stage costumes that felt both theatrical and timeless, helping define some of the most memorable images in entertainment history. Looking back today, those extraordinary creations continue inspiring fashion designers, costume departments, and performers around the world. Many of Michael Jackson's most recognizable outfits have become symbols of popular culture, instantly recalling specific songs, tours, and performances the moment they are seen. That lasting influence reflects far more than exceptional tailoring. It demonstrates what can happen when visionary artists and skilled craftsmen work toward a shared creative goal. Michael challenged his designers to think beyond traditional fashion, encouraging them to create costumes that could become part of the storytelling itself. Their success is evident in the fact that decades later, those designs remain instantly recognizable to people of every generation. Yet creating beautiful clothing was only part of the challenge. Once the costumes reached the stage, they still had to survive demanding choreography, explosive lighting, and performances that pushed both the artist and his wardrobe to their absolute limits. That is where Michael's stage costumes became something even more extraordinary than fashion. They became engineering masterpieces built for performance. By the time Michael Jackson reached the height of his career, his wardrobe had become far more than a collection of stage costumes. It had evolved into one of the most remarkable archives in entertainment history. Inside carefully organized closets and storage rooms were thousands of custom-made jackets, shirts, military-inspired uniforms, hats, shoes, belts, gloves, and performance accessories collected over decades of touring, recording, and filmmaking. Many pieces existed as one-of-a-kind creations, designed specifically for a single concert, television appearance, music video, or world tour. Together, they represented an extraordinary investment of creativity and craftsmanship that reflected Michael's lifelong commitment to artistic excellence. While their financial value grew over time, their greatest importance lay in the stories they preserved. Every garment carried memories of unforgettable performances, historic moments, and milestones that helped shape modern popular culture. Maintaining a wardrobe of that scale required remarkable organization. Costumes were carefully preserved because Michael understood they were more than clothing. They were part of his artistic legacy. Stage jackets decorated with intricate embroidery, crystal embellishments, and metallic details demanded specialized care to protect their appearance after demanding performances. Shoes worn during complex dance routines were treated with equal attention, while signature accessories such as hats, belts, and gloves were stored alongside the outfits they completed. Behind the scenes, every piece represented hundreds of hours of design, tailoring, fitting, and craftsmanship. Some costumes required repeated adjustments throughout rehearsals until they matched Michael's exact expectations for comfort, movement, and visual impact. Nothing was considered too small to refine. If a costume did not move perfectly under the stage lights or support his choreography naturally, it continued evolving until it did. Today, that extraordinary wardrobe stands as a visual record of Michael Jackson's creative evolution. Fans can trace different chapters of his career simply by recognizing the distinctive style of a jacket, the silhouette of a performance outfit, or the sparkling details that defined an unforgettable era. Few entertainers have ever built a stage wardrobe so instantly recognizable across generations. Its influence continues inspiring fashion designers, museum exhibitions, collectors, and performers around the world. Yet, perhaps the most fascinating aspect of these legendary costumes is something audiences rarely noticed while watching them on stage. Hidden beneath the dazzling appearance were carefully engineered features designed to withstand intense choreography, rapid costume changes, and physically demanding performances night after night. Behind every iconic look was a level of technical innovation that transformed fashion into functional performance equipment, revealing that Michael Jackson's costumes were as remarkable on the inside as they appeared on the outside. The secret engineering hidden inside Michael's costumes. To millions of fans, Michael Jackson's stage costumes appeared to be masterpieces of fashion. They shimmered beneath powerful lights, reflected every dramatic movement, and seemed perfectly suited to the spectacle unfolding on stage. But beneath the glittering crystals, embroidered details, and military-inspired designs was something few people ever considered: engineering. Every costume had to survive performances that demanded extraordinary athletic ability. Michael's concerts featured rapid spins, explosive jumps, powerful footwork, and non-stop movement for hours at a time. Ordinary clothing simply wasn't built for that level of physical performance. Every jacket, pair of trousers, shirt, and accessory had to be carefully constructed so it could move naturally with his body while maintaining its flawless appearance under the intense conditions of a live concert. What audiences admired as fashion was, in reality, the product of remarkable technical craftsmanship. Designers approached every costume with the mindset of both artists and engineers. Fabrics were selected not only for their appearance, but also for their flexibility, durability, and comfort. Hidden reinforcements were often built into jackets so they could maintain their distinctive shape despite constant movement. Lightweight materials helped reduce fatigue during long performances, while custom tailoring ensured every garment responded naturally to Michael's choreography. Shoes were equally important. They had to provide stability, flexibility, and reliable grip on a variety of stage surfaces while supporting some of the most demanding dance routines in entertainment history. Even decorative elements, such as crystals, buckles, and metallic embroidery, were securely attached to withstand the repeated impact of rehearsals and world tours. Every technical decision served a single purpose: allowing Michael to perform with complete confidence without ever worrying about the clothing he wore. Perhaps the greatest achievement of these costumes was that audiences rarely noticed the engineering behind them. Michael wanted fans to experience the magic of the performance, not the complexity hidden beneath each outfit. When he stepped onto the stage, every technical challenge had already been solved long before the opening music began. The costumes became a seamless extension of his artistry, enhancing the illusion without drawing attention away from the performance itself. That invisible craftsmanship remains one of the defining reasons his stage wardrobe continues to inspire costume designers today. It demonstrated that true excellence often lies in details the audience never sees. Yet for Michael, technical perfection alone was never enough. Every outfit also needed to express individuality. He refused to follow fashion simply because it was popular, choosing instead to create a style entirely his own, one that would become instantly recognizable anywhere in the world. Why Michael refused to dress like everyone else? Throughout his career, Michael Jackson rarely followed the fashion trends of the moment. While many entertainers adapted their appearance to match changing styles, Michael chose a completely different path. He believed that audiences should instantly recognize him the moment he stepped onto a stage, even from the farthest seat in a packed stadium. That philosophy meant creating a visual identity that belonged to no one else: military-inspired jackets, custom-tailored trousers, signature armbands, sparkling socks, loafers, fedoras, aviator sunglasses, and elaborately decorated belts were never selected simply because they looked fashionable. They became part of a carefully crafted image that reflected confidence, mystery, elegance, and theatrical storytelling. Michael understood that unforgettable artists are remembered not only for what they create, but also for how they present themselves. Every outfit therefore became another signature element of his identity, just as recognizable as his voice or his choreography. That commitment to originality often challenged the designers who worked alongside him. Rather than asking for clothing inspired by current fashion collections, Michael encouraged them to think beyond ordinary design. He wanted garments that looked timeless instead of temporary, pieces capable of remaining iconic decades after they first appeared. Inspiration came from many different sources, including military uniforms, royal ceremonial clothing, classic Hollywood cinema, historical fashion, and stage costumes from around the world. Michael would frequently combine these influences in unexpected ways, creating silhouettes and details that had never been seen together before. The result was a style that belonged entirely to him. Even the smallest finishing touches, from embroidered initials to carefully placed metallic accents, were considered part of the story each costume was telling. His wardrobe wasn't built to blend into the crowd. It was designed to create an unforgettable first impression before a single word was spoken or a single note of music was heard. Looking back today, that decision to reject conventional fashion may be one of Michael Jackson's greatest creative achievements. His most famous outfits remain instantly recognizable decades after they first appeared, continuing to inspire musicians, dancers, designers, and costume departments across the entertainment industry. Countless performers have paid tribute to his style, yet none have been able to duplicate the unique combination of imagination, confidence, and artistic purpose that defined his wardrobe. Michael proved that true style is never about following trends. It is about creating an identity so distinctive that it becomes timeless. Every jacket, every glove, every hat, and every carefully designed costume reflected that philosophy. But behind those unforgettable looks existed another remarkable system that guided every creative decision. Michael followed a personal set of design principles that influenced every outfit he ever approved, shaping a wardrobe unlike any other in music history. The 4 rules that defined every Michael Jackson outfit. Although Michael Jackson's wardrobe appeared incredibly diverse, those who worked closely with him understood that every costume followed a consistent creative philosophy. Behind the dazzling jackets, crystal-covered shirts, military-inspired uniforms, and unforgettable stage looks were a small number of principles that guided every design. Michael didn't simply ask whether an outfit looked impressive. He wanted to know whether it served the performance. If a costume failed to strengthen the story, improve his movement, or leave a lasting visual impression, it would continue to evolve until it met his expectations. Over the years, this careful approach became the foundation of one of the most recognizable wardrobes in entertainment history. Every designer who collaborated with Michael quickly learned that creating clothing for him meant following a unique set of artistic standards rather than ordinary fashion trends. The first rule was instant recognition. Michael believed that audiences should identify him immediately, even from the back rows of a massive stadium. Strong silhouettes, military-inspired tailoring, sparkling embellishments, and bold visual details ensured every outfit stood out from the moment he appeared on stage. The second rule was freedom of movement. Every costume had to support demanding choreography without restricting even the smallest motion. Jackets, trousers, shoes, and accessories were carefully fitted so they worked naturally with every spin, jump, and signature dance move. The third rule focused on storytelling. Michael wanted each outfit to reflect the emotion and atmosphere of the performance it accompanied. Whether portraying confidence, mystery, elegance, or determination, the clothing became part of the narrative before the music even began. Finally, the fourth rule was timelessness. Rather than chasing seasonal trends, Michael sought designs that would remain iconic for generations, allowing audiences decades later to recognize a performance from a single jacket, glove, or fedora. These 4 principles transformed fashion into an essential part of Michael Jackson's artistic identity. They explain why his wardrobe continues inspiring performers and designers long after many contemporary styles have faded from memory. Every piece inside his extraordinary closet reflects the same commitment to excellence that defined his music, choreographies, and stage productions. Michael understood that true style isn't measured by how expensive an outfit is or how fashionable it appears at a particular moment. It is measured by whether people remember it years later. Judging by the lasting influence of his wardrobe, that vision succeeded beyond anything he could have imagined. Yet even with these carefully defined rules guiding every design, one final ingredient elevated his costumes to legendary status. Behind each finished outfit stood hundreds of hours of meticulous craftsmanship, where skilled artisans transformed ambitious ideas into wearable works of art, worthy of one of the greatest entertainers the world has ever known. The extraordinary craftsmanship behind every performance. Long before Michael Jackson stepped beneath the bright lights of a sold-out arena, an extraordinary amount of work had already taken place behind the scenes. Every stage costume represented the combined effort of highly skilled tailors, embroiderers, leather specialists, jewel setters, pattern makers, and costume designers, each contributing their expertise to a single vision. Some jackets required weeks of detailed handwork, with thousands of crystals, metallic threads, and decorative embellishments applied one piece at a time. Every stitch had to withstand the physical demands of live performance while maintaining the flawless appearance audiences expected. To the fans watching from the crowd, the costume seemed effortlessly magnificent. But behind that elegance stood countless hours of craftsmanship that remained almost entirely invisible. Each finished garment reflected the dedication of artists whose work was rarely seen but constantly admired. Creating costumes for Michael Jackson also meant solving problems that ordinary fashion designers rarely encountered. His performances demanded rapid costume changes, explosive choreography, and hours under intense stage lighting. Designers, therefore, had to balance beauty with practicality at every stage of production. Hidden fasteners allowed quick wardrobe changes backstage. Reinforced seams prevented garments from shifting during energetic routines, and carefully selected fabrics helped regulate comfort beneath powerful concert lights. Decorative elements had to remain securely attached despite constant movement, while every measurement was adjusted to ensure complete freedom of motion. Before a costume was approved, it often underwent multiple fittings and rehearsal sessions, where Michael personally evaluated how it looked, felt, and performed. If something failed to meet his expectations, even a small detail, it was refined until every element worked perfectly. That relentless pursuit of perfection became one of the defining characteristics of his entire wardrobe. Today, those remarkable costumes continue to be admired not only as fashion, but as works of artistic craftsmanship. Museums, exhibitions, and collectors value them because they represent far more than celebrity memorabilia. They capture a level of creativity, precision, and attention to detail that helped redefine what stage costumes could become. Every jacket, glove, belt, and pair of shoes tells the story of hundreds of hours invested by talented craftspeople committed to helping Michael bring his artistic vision to life. Their work ensured that every appearance felt unforgettable from the first moment he stepped onto the stage until the final applause. Yet perhaps the greatest achievement of Michael Jackson's wardrobe wasn't simply its beauty or craftsmanship, it was its lasting influence. Decades later, designers across the world continue drawing inspiration from those iconic creations, proving that Michael's fashion legacy extends far beyond the concert stage and into the very future of style itself. When Michael Jackson stepped onto a stage, he wasn't simply wearing a costume, he was introducing a new visual language that would influence fashion for decades to come. At a time when many performers relied on contemporary trends, Michael created a signature style that belonged entirely to him. The military-inspired jackets with bold shoulders, crystal-covered gloves, slim black trousers, white socks paired with loafers, decorative belts, aviator sunglasses, and iconic fedoras became instantly recognizable around the world. These weren't random fashion choices. Together, they formed a visual identity that audiences could recognize in a single silhouette. As Michael's popularity grew across continents, so did the influence of his wardrobe. Designers, musicians, dancers, and fans began adopting elements of his style, proving that his impact extended far beyond music and into the very foundation of modern pop culture. That influence quickly reached industries well beyond entertainment. Fashion designers drew inspiration from Michael's structured tailoring, dramatic embellishments, and fearless combination of elegance with theatrical performance. Concert costume designers began treating stage clothing as an essential storytelling tool rather than simple performance attire. Music videos embraced more cinematic wardrobe concepts, recognizing that clothing could become just as memorable as choreography or lyrics. Even luxury fashion houses and streetwear brands have continued referencing Michael's most iconic looks, decades after they first appeared. His style crossed generations because it was never limited to a particular era. Instead of following fashion, Michael created timeless designs that remained relevant long after trends had disappeared. Whether intentionally or not, countless artists who perform today continue reflecting aspects of the visual standard he established through his commitment to originality and artistic excellence. Perhaps the greatest measure of Michael Jackson's fashion legacy is how instantly recognizable it remains. A single sequined glove, a black fedora, or the outline of one of his military-style jackets is often enough to remind people of performances that took place decades ago. Very few entertainers have created a wardrobe capable of communicating so much through so little. Michael proved that clothing could become an extension of music itself, helping audiences remember emotions, performances, and moments that would otherwise exist only in memory. His influence continues inspiring designers, performers, museum exhibitions, and collectors across the globe, demonstrating that truly original artistry never fades with time. Yet beyond the worldwide recognition, the priceless craftsmanship, and the lasting influence on fashion lies an even greater legacy. Hidden inside Michael Jackson's extraordinary closet is the story of an artist who believed that every detail mattered, and whose relentless pursuit of perfection transformed a wardrobe into one of the greatest creative collections the entertainment world has ever seen. As we reach the end of this journey through Michael Jackson's extraordinary wardrobe, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. His closet was never simply a place to store expensive clothing. It was a living archive of creativity, discipline, and artistic vision. Every jacket, every pair of shoes, every hat, every glove, and every carefully preserved costume represented countless hours of imagination, craftsmanship, and preparation. Together, they documented the evolution of a performer who constantly challenged himself to create something audiences had never seen before. Michael understood that greatness was built through attention to detail, and nowhere was that philosophy more visible than in the wardrobe he created over 4 remarkable decades. Each garment captured a specific moment in time, preserving the performances, tours, music videos, and unforgettable appearances that helped redefine global entertainment. Looking inside that collection is like walking through the history of modern pop culture itself. What makes this collection truly remarkable is not its financial value, but its lasting influence. Many of the costumes that once appeared under concert lights have since become museum pieces, treasured by collectors and admired by designers around the world. They continue inspiring new generations of performers who understand that stage clothing can become far more than decoration. Michael proved that fashion could communicate emotion, strengthen storytelling, and become an unforgettable part of an artist's identity. His wardrobe demonstrated that every creative decision mattered, no matter how small. A single embroidered symbol, a carefully chosen color, or the precise cut of a jacket could shape the way millions of people experienced a performance. That commitment to excellence transformed ordinary garments into cultural landmarks, whose influence continues reaching far beyond music, inspiring fashion, theater, film, and live entertainment decades after they first appeared. Perhaps that is the greatest legacy hidden inside Michael Jackson's closet. It reminds us that extraordinary achievements are never created by talent alone. They are built through imagination, relentless dedication, collaboration, and an unwavering belief that every detail deserves perfection. Michael's wardrobe stands as a symbol of that philosophy, a collection that reflects not only the evolution of an artist, but the mindset that allowed him to become one of the most influential entertainers in history. Long after the concerts ended and the stage lights faded, those costumes continue telling the story of a performer who believed that every appearance should leave an unforgettable impression. And that is exactly what they continue to do today. His music still inspires millions, his performances remain timeless, and hidden inside every carefully preserved jacket and every iconic glove is the enduring legacy of an artist whose creativity changed the world forever. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this documentary, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next deep dive into the lives, careers, and untold stories behind the world's greatest entertainers. Until next time, thank you for watching.